Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, classic lesson, known classics. This is episode number 2631 and Doubleshot number 2525. Yep. So, here discussing two cosmic-based characters. One of whom debuted in the 60s, the other debuted in the 1980s. First up we have is Incredible Hercules Against the World. The very first Hercules ongoing series. One of two, actually one of three in the character's history. Three. Two of whom were written by Greg Pak. The third one is not. That was Dan Abnett's book. This book collects Incredible Hulk Volume 2, issue 112, and Incredible Hercules 113 115. Along with Hulk vs. Hercules, When Times Collide. Now, this is noteworthy of something that Marvel has done a few times, but for some reason they stopped doing this. What do you mean by that? Why? Retelling the book and not relaunch the numbering. Yes, seriously. This is actually one of like two books Marvel ever did this with where they renamed the book but did not hit the restart button. Yes, because Marvel in the last, like 14 years, like in the past 14 years, they have an obsession with the number one. Here's a book they didn't do that with. Now, oh, by the way, this cover here, that's a homage to Thor 126, which I believe it was the first issue of Thor right after it renamed from Journey into Mystery. It was known as the first 125 issues. This one right here, that was actually the cover issue 113. This is 112. This is Incredible Hulk Volume 2, number 112. This was the last issue ever released for the book. Before the very next issue was relaunched as Incredible Hercules. As you can see here, it's called Incredible Herc. It's called the cover, but it's Incredible Hulk Volume 2. Now, those of you notice, is this cover homage to something? Yes, it is. It's actually a homage to Hulk and number 1 from the 60s. Though it's basically Hulk Special number 1. By the way, the writers of these issues are Greg Pak and Fred Van Lien. Two really good writers. One of whom still works Marvel, writes Darth Vader. Does a really good job of the book. And then there is Fred Van Lien, who doesn't work Marvel anymore. Nope, he doesn't. I do not know why he doesn't. Last I heard, he works over at Dynamite. Still does really good work. Now, the artwork is by Coda Pham, a really good artist. He also does the inking for issue 112. Now, this name is familiar. 115's inking is done by Danny Miki. You're thinking, that name sounds familiar. Didn't he do Batman? Yes, he did. After this book. The artwork for Hulk vs. Hercules, When Times Collide. This is mostly Hulk's battles with Hercules. That's mostly what this one shot is. Art by Colin Fon, Paul Narney, who was the inker for issues 113, 114. And Dennis Crowe does pages 1, 2, and 31. Eric Noggin does 3 through 7. Riley Brown, Carlos Chavez, Terry Preda, and Chris Summer does pages 8, 11 to 13, and 9 and 10. Is Bob Layton and Guro Ifex. Out of everybody who, by the way, the cover right here is done by Arthur Adams and Laura Martin, who I think just basically does all the covers art for this one. Titans Collide, that is Marco Jerjovic. I'm sorry for pronouncing your name. Arthur Adams, I've seen this guy, but I've never talked to him. Bob Layton, met a couple times. We're going to meet in person. Now, these issues are part of the After Smash stuff. You're thinking, what's After Smash? It's the aftermath of World War Hulk. Yes. Hercules took over Hulk's title. And Incredible Hulk was relaunched as Incredible Hulk, while Hercules took over numbering. This also happened a few more times aside from, well, the other times I can think this happened during the previous decade. This first happened with this book. This also happened in about a couple of years after this, where they actually was no long after this, they renamed Daredevil to Black Panther, the Man Without Fear, with issue 513. That didn't last as long as this did. This lasted for a surprising, about 30 issues. Yeah, this is the only one of these renumberings actually lasted a good period of time. Black Panther lasted for about 17 issues. There was also, I'm trying to think, what was the other book? I think it was oh yeah, it was Captain America and retitled from the Captain America Volume 1's numbering, which of course that actually lasted for a pretty good period of time. It got relaunched. It was retitled this issue 620, and it remained like this for 21 issues, which is 9 issues shorter than this book. And that's the third and last book I could think of where they did that. Because Marvel never did this again, as far as I can tell, where they took an actual book and they actually renamed the book and kept the numbering going. Oh, there's actually one book I can think of they did this with. They also did from when they changed from Hulk Volume 2 to Red She-Hulk. And there's also, almost forgot, Journey to Mystery. It was the second time they did that with that book, because the first time it was back in the 90s. And the second time was actually with basically the Karen Gillian stuff, where we retitled with issue 622, lasted to issue 645. That was 423 issues. This was by far the longest book of all the renumberings. Yeah, 30 issues. Mostly put in the Casey's issues. It's most about Hercules and the run for the government, and be hunted by his own brother, well, half-brother, Ares. He's on the run with Amadeus Cho. But this book, these 4 issues of Incredible Hulk / Hercules, are really good. Yeah, it's only 4 issues, plus this one shot. This book is absolutely amazing. I'm giving this book a 10 out of 10. It's a lot of fun, and I'm definitely looking forward to the rest of this run. Now, one thing I should point out, though, some might be thinking, how many traits are there considered part of this run? Well, the answer is simple. Excuse me. There are 1, 2, 3, 7. There are technically 8 trades for this run. Yep, 8 trades. The very next one is Secret Invasion. Looking forward to discussing actually. Yeah, Secret Invasion. There's Secret Invasion, Love and War, Scarred Invasion, Dark Reign, Mighty Hercules. Yes, this is this one. There's Assault on Olympus and the New Prince of Power. That's basically comes afterward. But those are main trades, but a lot of fun there. Next up, we have another Cosmic-based character. Next we have is Lobo by Keith Giffen, Alan Grant. Sadly, for whom basically both these guys passed away. Alan Grant passed away in 2022. Keith Giffen in 2023. This book contained the original Lobo miniseries, which later launched the long-running Lobo ongoing series, and the longest Lobo book today, lasting 50, that's about 60 issues. Alan Grant writing about the first half of the book. He wrote one issue with Keith Giffen. We have those 4 issues there. There's also Lobo preliminary Christmas special, Lobo's Back, Lobo Chain of Love, and Lobo Convention special. The convention special is, simply put, Lobo going to Comic-Con. Yep, that's literally what the book is. Lobo's Back. It's just a weird mini-series. One point, Lobo becomes a woman for a few issues. Yes. Now, the first mini-series is basically Lobo being hired by Legion. Now you're thinking, Legion, what's that? Legion is not, and you're thinking, is that associated with Legion superheroes? Kind of, yes, except this was a mercenary group summoned by Baldox, the son of Brainiac, the original Brainiac. Well, he's a clone anyways, but he's his son. They formed this group in the aftermath of Invasion, and the book was actually lasted for a really good period of time. It was a really good book, lasting 70 issues before it got relaunched as Rebels. And this book was also noteworthy for having where despite the fact having 70 issues, the cover is basically marked what year they came out. Yes, Rebels did the same thing too, the first volume for it. And there was a second volume for Rebels released, I think it was in like 2009, I think it was. Lasting 20 issues of Tony Bedard. He told me this, where he was actually going to plan to call the book Legion, but for some reason he wasn't allowed to call the book Legion, so he called the book Rebels. And it was just a Legion book anyways. Yeah. And of course, you have Sam Bashi doing the artwork for. Now, here's the credit for these books. Keith Giffen is plots and breakdowns. The dialogue is Alan Grant. Now, here are your artists: Simon Bosley, who does also the covers too, really good covers. Kristen Alamy, Dennis Cowan, and Kevin O'Neill. You're thinking, wait, Kevin O'Neill, as in the guy who drew the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen with Alan Moore. Yep, same guy. Yep, look at that cover. Yeah, and this is how Simon Bosley drew him in the 90s. Yeah, it's like it's also thinking with Dolphin, something that basically that Steve Alena basically brought back. You also have these text pages too. And if you're curious, where's Val Dox? Here he is. That's Val Dox. That's how he looked in the 90s. Yep. Yeah, here's a fun fact about Val Dox. Now, Val Dox is not a creation of Keith Giffen, despite the fact he wrote a lot of the stuff featuring him. No, he is actually a Silver Age character who debuted as a cameo back in an early issue featuring Brainiac. Yep. But yeah, Stealth is here too. Stealth from Legion. Yeah. The group was, you can think of it as DC also take a take on the Guardians of the Galaxy, something that Marvel would take on in 2008, by having this group basically come together. I think it's a cosmic-like invasion, and, well, become a mercenary group, which basically Guardians of the Galaxy was. Really fun book. I love the Lobo miniseries. The artwork was interesting for what it was. I'm not going to be hated per se. And then, like, right after this, right after we wrapped up this really interesting miniseries, the preliminary special, it is mostly put just a Christmas special with Lobo. Yeah, that's mostly what this book is. Not bad per se, but really fun stuff here. And this is the last scheduled release for this run. For some reason, they don't have like. There is omnibuses that collect more Lobo stuff. Excuse me, like, really? Yes. Yeah, there's also, aside from these two books, there's also Big Freaking Compendium. Yeah, there's that one. Where that one had collected, well, the main Lobo mini series. The first 9 issues ongoing, along with issue 0. The 2 annuals, with the Christmas special published here. Lobo's Back, Blazing Journey of Love, which actually was in, I think it was this book, was it? Yes, it was. It's kind of in a way, basically, the two books combined, except they threw other stuff in there, like Portrait of Victim, Unnamed Gladiators, the convention we discussed here, a contract on Gourd, In the Chair, Grand Lantern Quarterly number 8, Superman Man of Steel number 130, The Demon 11 to 15. Yeah, I believe it. Edric Dean pops up in this book too. Yes, he does. The Omega Men, which is his debut. Of course, also, yes, there is the Cullen Bunn Lobo book, which, don't get me wrong, it's not bad book per se. It's just that it's not Lobo. It's basically what fans have considered to be the actual imposter. This book is written where the actual Lobo was an imposter, and this pretty Lobo was the real Lobo. Yeah, no one gave a damn about the pretty Lobo. Yep. But this is the end of these 2 volumes here. There's technically about one more trade I could discuss here for Lobo, and that's it. Because there's like no more trades for Lobo. You would think basically Lobo, as popular character he is, DC would get more trades. I mean, I'm not expecting like another series for him. Oh, and just by sheer coincidence, House of Brainiac, he's playing a big role in House of Brainiac coming up in just in a couple months. Looking forward to it. Yep, but yeah, that's going to be pretty much it for particular view. Next up, we have one more comic corner discussing 2 members of the Justice League. Okay, next video. Bye. Oh, be sure to also like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and hit the dislike button. Bye.